Bonk. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerd Ledger. We are the nerds. I'm Cage. That's Chair. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is the Nerd Ledger, weekly nerd podcast. Where we talk about the latest in nerd news, movies, TV, comics, whatever. Not always, but some of that stuff. And yeah, here we are today to talk to you about Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Yeah, but before all that, first of all, yesterday was my last day at my second job.
At the marina.
Yes.
Well, I hope the cash influx was really helpful and it's helped you get to more stable ground.
Sure.
As helpful as it could have been.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm done with that. No surprise. People. Somebody we both know tried to call me for some reason, knowing that I was at work. Maybe he didn't know, but I did tell him the day before that I still had to work my second job. So yeah, it's very odd to be working and get phone calls. I don't know like if this is like normal for people, but I don't answer the phone at work like to anyone.
No, that's pretty, unless it's like an emergency. Some people do put their phones on do not disturb, or then add emergency contacts that can get through the do not disturb, like your wife and your family and your grandpa and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'll get her auto response back to people that try and call you that says, "Sorry, I'm busy right now. Can you please try again later?" Maybe that's something you could look into.
Yeah, I suppose. So yeah, there was that. And then also, I got something. It relates to today's episode. You see? It says
Ooh.
Marvel. I haven't looked at it yet, but
The shoes,
yeah, they're wrapped. They're very, very wrapped. So yeah, I'll unwrap. This is for effect, so people listening can hear that I'm unwrapping.
Look pretty sick.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, these are some brand new Wolverine shoes. They're pretty sick, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah, pretty badass.
Hopefully they're comfortable.
Yeah.
They feel. It feels like they're probably comfortable.
Wear them around the office. I'm sure you'll get plenty of compliments, especially if there's some nerds like you in there.
Well, one of my coworkers. So last week was bring your kid to work day for some reason, and he brought his kid, and he was like, "Oh, this is my son. His name is Logan James," and I was like, Logan, like Wolverine, and James, like James Howlett, also Wolverine. He's like, yep. And I was like, big Wolverine fan. So, yeah. Yeah, there are some Wolverine fans around the office. I'm well known around the office, though, as the best dressed person in the office. I'm not going to lie. That is my title. People know. People know.
Got the drip.
Yeah. It's like last week was somebody that I don't even work with. He's like, you dress like a CEO. And I was like, not really. He's like, well, you got the hair and you got like the outfit. And I was like, okay, thank you. It was really nice of him. But yeah, I get complimented on my shoes a lot. And my outfits, but I wear the same things like every day. Not like every day, but like every Monday I wear the same outfit. Every Tuesday I wear the same outfit. Every Wednesday I wear people know what to expect, but still get compliments. So makes life easy though when you know what you're gonna wear. Don't have to think about it. Anyway, Deadpool and Wolverine. I think I don't think there's any other things to catch up on. Oh, you know what? Chair's supposed to be helping me because my computer is a piece of dog shit. And so I was like, oh yeah, just like send me a build and maybe I'll buy it and have you build it for me. And he said, oh, can you send me the specs for your current PC and see if there's anything salvageable? I was like, sure. And I sent to him. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a total, complete piece of fucking dog shit. Nothing in there is usable. You need to start from scratch.
You could do the case, but the problem is, like, I do Intel, I don't do AMD, right? That's my problem. Like, I don't have AMD skills.
Yeah, it's because AMD is like a highly explosive technology.
Yeah, well, and Intel is like, just tried and true. It's a little bit more expensive, but it comes in this fancy polygonal box, and it's so fancy. When you unfold it, it's like in a little display, like a little watch you just bought in like a jewelry store, and it's like silver nickel plated or whatever the fucking it gleams in the sunlight, and you gotta smooth it, rub it down with some paste, and yeah, so Intel's pretty cool. But it's just Intel's great, and AMD, it sucks. Like I just wish so there's two different kind of motherboards, right? There's AMD sockets and there's Intel sockets, and that sucks.
Yeah,
it's like there's not like one universal socket that both companies need to make CPUs that sit on top of the socket or whatever the fuck, because there's just pins under the fucking day. So I don't know. Anyway, though, I'm not the biggest nerd on computers, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about this shit.
No, it's all right.
But I'm ready to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. I really wish I would have gone to see it a second time, because man, it was a really fantastic movie. Maybe I'll see it on another Tuesday when it's like dead, after a few weeks of it running. First
of all, we have to be very sarcastic, okay? We have to put on our nerd glasses and push them up.
Got it.
Actually, Deadpool and Wolverine was just like a fan service movie, and all it did was try to make fans happy, but the plot was very poorly constructed, and also there's like
damn, I want to punch you in the face right now. Holy shit.
Also there's like there's like so much stuff doesn't make any sense. All the Deadpools just stopped fighting because of Peter showing up. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. It's nothing but pure enjoyment. It's hilarious. It's great the whole fucking time. And listen, I get it. People can have first of all, I guess spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, then don't listen. But bro, the movie came out 2 weeks ago, and listen, all the spoilers are online, so you're not gonna really get anything here that you probably haven't seen by accident already. So yeah, just a spoiler warning as always. But I don't really get some of the randos you see, the one-offs. I know they're one-offs, but of people just who say they hated the movie.
This is like, it's literally one of my top 5 movies of all time, I think, that I've watched.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's
people
like,
comment, they're like, "What, do you hate fun?"
It's telling a meta story about storytelling in itself. Like, and I know that sounds like writery or whatever, but go fuck yourself. Maybe think deeper about these things. Like, it's talking about what happens to franchises when they've gone their full direction and shit. Like, it's a very meta. It's very meta storytelling, which is fine because Deadpool breaks the fourth wall at the time and slaps the camera and shit like that.
Yeah. So we could probably spend a week just going through every joke, every inside joke.
The cavalry, dude. The cavalry is real.
But more or less, right?
God, dude, I can't believe they fucking did that.
Deadpool as a character is a fan of Marvel, right? Yeah. And that's part of the point. Sure, they sacrifice themselves, and then it's diminished because they actually didn't die, bro. Who fucking cares? These are such small things in a movie where you don't need a super strong plot, and even then, people get lost. It's one of those things where it's if you didn't want to like the movie, you were never going to like the movie. You would find it annoying, and you'd find all this stuff to be mad about, and you'd miss a lot of the greater points, and you'd also miss, the things that they do tell you and say they didn't tell you, because I saw a lot of people saying oh, well, they never explained what Wolverine did to make him so bad. It's well, they absolutely did explain it. It's not just that he abandoned the X-Men and he came back and they were all dead or whatever. It's that after that, he pulled an Anakin Skywalker and said, I killed them all, not just the men, but the women and the children. I hate them. Bro literally went line for line, bar for bar, Attack of the Clones, okay? They explain it perfectly fine, okay? This movie, to me, isn't about the story of the movie. It's just action, which again people said wasn't that great. It was very entertaining. And like you're saying, it's a very meta story. Like, I appreciate the parts of the MCU that they did incorporate, like the Void and stuff from Loki, because it makes perfect sense that the TVA went and pruned the Fox universe, and they ended up in the Void. Again, people are complaining because, you know, Daphne Keene's character, X-23, Laura Kinney, you know, she says, oh, I had a life because of you, because of the sacrifice of Logan. People are like, well, they ruined the sacrifice of Logan because they just killed that world anyway, and it was like this anchor event and all this stuff.
Yeah, dude, he took out fucking Logan's skeleton and beat the TVA to death with it. It was so fucking funny, dude. It was so meta. They're literally, it's them taking the franchise and fucking beating it to death. Dude, it was so fucking funny. Like, there were just so many jokes. There are a lot of really funny things they did in that movie that were symbolic, I think, that I just went over people's heads. I like a lot of people's heads, and I think there's like, man, I gotta watch. When this movie comes to streaming,
I'm gonna
think watch it a few times.
People necessarily needed to understand any of that just to sit back and enjoy a movie. Like, it is a movie that for people like you and other thinkers, like it's very meta, and you're like, holy shit, like that's very clever. And for people who aren't, you just sit there and don't think about anything and escape all the bullshit of the fucking world.
Wolverine's skeleton is made of adamantium, and it's like, I didn't even think about that. Like, he's just this fucking metal skeleton sitting in the ground. It's like fucking one of the most valuable metal materials in the world, right?
Vibranium, and then adamantium,
yeah, exactly. So man, it was so funny. They literally dug up the grave of Logan and they started beating it to death.
And you know, from when you already have that mindset and that viewpoint, it's like everything kind of leans into that more, right? Like all the meta jokes and you know, till you're 90 kind of thing, you know, like we're gonna beat the shit out of this, right? And it is surprising too, because like you go in, you're like, oh, it's gonna be a Deadpool movie, like you're gonna get a lot of these Deadpool-isms or whatever, but now it's also a Disney movie, like kind of, right? Disney owns it, right? It's part of the MCU.
You want to know how I knew it was a Disney movie?
No.
The
color grading?
They grew up the shit out of Deadpool all the time, made jokes about his butt in that suit, but they wouldn't show Lady Pool's butt for like any reasonable amount of time. That's how you know.
It's because Deadpool is played by Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds helped make the movie, and Lady Pool was played by his wife, and he didn't want to, grow up her.
Whatever you say.
Oh, that's another thing. That's one of the other complaints. And again, it's a very minor amount of people on Twitter obviously complaining, but like, there's so much gay jokes in the movie. Like, first of all, they're not gay jokes. Like, there's nothing in the movie suggesting that being gay in any way is bad. It's just like Deadpool is like very middle of the, so.
Oh yeah, are you calling your wife, bro? You like looking at my ass? No, I'm calling HR. Oh yeah, does your wife work at HR? Like, dude, god damn it, dude.
Like,
it's just banger after banger after banger in this fucking movie. I thought it was gay. I'm gonna get burned out of these quips. Like, that's what I thought. Sometimes they felt a little dry. Like that opening was a little gratuitous, right? It was a little excessive. Like the dancing and all that kind of shit. But dude, some of these clips are just bangers, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, like
dude.
And then obviously him talking to the camera and being like, "Eat shit, Fox. I'm Marvel Jesus."
Yeah, all the jokes he made too.
Yeah, and he, and like that's the thing is like, you expected quite a bit of Deadpool in a Deadpool movie, but like you didn't know how much Marvel would try to tone it down, right? Like how many like F-bombs they would let slip, and maybe the F-bombs aren't as big of a deal, but like some of the other stuff, like bro, I feel like there were actually no restrictions. I mean, the cocaine thing was like an actual real restriction, but like, bro, they talked about pegging. They talked about fucking, bro, they talked about everything. Like, and obviously, like,
I'm gonna flick my bean. Like, that's very rare. You see a female making masturbation jokes. Like, it's just not, like, because people are pussies. Like, it's like such a double standard how guys will talk about making masturbation jokes all the time, but when girls talk about flicking the bean drives people insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, and even making fun of Disney, right? Like, oh, you're joining at a low point, and stuff like that. And it's like, of course, like of course they're gonna do that. And even Kevin Feige came on and said, if Deadpool didn't make fun of Disney, it wouldn't be Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like
the Calvary, bro.
Yeah, there were a lot of cameos in the movie as well. Not all the ones that people thought there were going to be. Of course, people always say, "Yeah, these these people are going Femke Janssen and Halle Berry." Those are like the first rumored people to show up in the movie. Yeah, they weren't in the movie at all. But the movie had it brought back some oldies, and it also brought in some newbies. So first of all, yes, Henry Cavill had a cameo as Wolverine.
The cavalry. No, he was the cavalry,
yes.
bro. That's how he was in the credits.
Yes.
The cavalry.
The legends are real. The cavalry.
The cavalry.
Yeah. Sean Levy, who directed the movie, came out and said, he said when we asked Henry to be in the movie, he didn't even hesitate. He automatically said he would do it. Henry Cavill did say that chomping on a cigar for 8 hours a day made him fucking sick to his stomach.
Yeah, for those of you that don't smoke tobacco, or like obviously you don't, you're clean. Like you're clean of every substance abuse known to man. Like obviously you only drink water and eat berries and nuts and leaves, and you definitely don't eat like shit like I do. And you don't drink things full of red dye and blue dye that.
Berries, nuts, and leaves. The only one of those things I eat is nuts, and they're usually peanuts or cashews, and mostly if they're covered in sugar. I don't eat leaves or berries or any fruit. Yeah. Or any vegetable. So
eat fruit snacks. I bet I probably have fruit snacks.
No.
You don't have little fruit snacks at the office. They give you like, hey guys, here's a little baby bottle of water and a fruit snack, like it's still high school. Here you go.
No, they don't give us anything. We don't get stuff from the work. We get stuff from people, like
the reps,
vendors.
The reps drop it off for you.
They send them to us. Yeah.
What's the best thing you ever ate that they dropped off?
Oh,
and careful, like just I guess like this is not an official endorsement. So,
yeah, I don't eat a lot. I don't know if it's been announced yet. I don't know if I could talk about it.
Okay, never mind. Let's go back.
But it's a flavor. Anyway. It's a flavor of Lay's that was really good. Really good.
Well, you're not wrong. Lay's are really good. Anyway, back to Deadpool and Wolverine though. So the cavalry. So man, we're so lost in the sauce right now because like it's just there's so many good parts about this movie. I've been having a bit of a crazy 2 or 3 weeks here, so I've just been dealing with some stuff IRL. No begging, you don't really want to talk about it or anything like that. We're going good. I applied for an assistant manager position at Petco, so we'll see how that goes. See if I can land an interview or something like that. What?
Nothing. We're talking about cameos, and now we're just talking about life.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why. But so I wish I would have watched this movie the day before we had this podcast, because like. I went to bed thinking about all the good things. I didn't smoke like any weed or anything like that. I'm trying to, keep the weed smoking down so I keep the movie fresh in my head. But still, 3 or 4 days with everything I got going on, dealing with the day to day and everything like that is just, it's a long time. So, there's a lot of things in the movie that I'm gonna forget or misremember and get lost in. But it was just so good. It was so good, even if I was in a shitty seat.
Yep. So the other cameos obviously are all the villains were all very minor cameos. Sabretooth, who actually had a cool fight scene with Wolverine. Cool because they ran at each other and Wolverine cut his head off. So Toad also, and a bunch of the other Azazel and all the other background characters, right? They were there, but they didn't do much. And then big one, Chris Evans, and obviously they had the thing in the TVA before, showing him as Cap, and fucking Deadpool's and he's saluting him and shit. And then when they go to the Void, they see Chris Evans, and he thinks it's Captain America. But it's not. It's Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four, which was really cool.
Really, really cool. I wasn't surprising it at all. And the joke too. We needed that. Do you know what he was doing to the budget? It's fucking. Oh shit. Dude.
Yeah. And then the other big ones are Daphne Keane is back as Laura Kinney. Jennifer Garner is back as Elektra. She had a funny joke when they were talking about all the people that Eliath had killed or that Cassandra Nova had killed, and they mentioned Punisher and Daredevil, and Deadpool goes Punisher, or he goes Daredevil, and she's like, yeah, it's all right, because Ben Affleck was Daredevil, and they were married, and now they're divorced, so
Damn.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Wesley
Yeah.
Snipes. Wesley Snipes as Blade.
The
Um,
best cameo probably out of them all. You think? Probably the best and most hype.
I don't know. Like it was shocking,
Yeah.
especially because of the history of Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes, and they also make fun of that in the movie where he says, "You never did like me," and it's because Ryan Reynolds was in Blade 3, and Wesley Snipes is well known and on record saying that he and Ryan Reynolds didn't get along because, and Ryan Reynolds has said it as well because Wesley Snipes was a method actor. And Ryan Reynolds has come out and said, like, I never really knew Wesley Snipes. I only knew Blade. And because, like, he was always, like, method acting, you know, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. He's, like, always fucking with him and shit. And it, like, really annoyed Wesley Snipes. So they didn't get along very well. But now, like, everything's cool. And I think the biggest surprise for people is probably Channing Tatum as Gambit. Another cameo whose entire character was very meta. And all they did, like, because they're talking about how they ended up in the void or whatever, you know, obviously, you know, the Fox universe. But then Gambit's like, I feel like I've always been here. Maybe I was born here because he never got his movie and never got made. Like, this is the first time we're ever seeing him. So yeah, he was born there.
That was really good. That was really good too. I'm sure you really loved that, seeing him, Channing Tatum as Gambit.
I thought he was good. I saw people complaining about his accent and whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool can't be like questioning and being like, I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. If we can clearly understand what he's saying, of course you're not going to be able to understand what he's saying. You know,
make it ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. I don't know if we need a whole movie of Channing Tatum as Gambit. I thought this was fine, and it worked for what it is, and it was enjoyable to see him.
And he looked great.
Yeah, good costume.
Fantastic costume. Hair was on point.
Fake hair. Yeah, fake hair.
Yeah, the hair structure.
Channing Tatum is bald.
Yeah, the hair structure and everything like that was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was good shit. Like it was looked great. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So
and
So those were like the major cameos, but like as far as other characters, right? Dogpool obviously plays a role in the movie. Nice Pool is pretty funny. Because you could just see actual Deadpool like plotting his death from like the minute he meets him, especially when he's like, oh, you know, he got the 2 golden deagles, and he was like over my dead body. You could just see him plotting the demise of Nice Pool.
Yeah, I'm glad I saw this good movie. Yeah, and Nice Pool was fantastic. Yeah, man, it was
Van Milder. Bro, I don't know, like the movie it's just very enjoyable. Like even it beyond all the, you know, the meta stuff, like you don't have to think that deeply about it. Like it's just a great way to escape the disgusting trash society that we're a part of. Okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So, what else? What other things about the movie did you like or dislike, or is there anything you disliked? Anything you felt was like...
I just want to poke your brain for like 30 or 40 minutes with questions, to be honest with you. Is that a Wolverine that like were in the universe, like he was protecting all their mutants, they were kids or something like that, and they all fucking died? What happened to that Wolverine? To this Hugh the Wolverine he was spending the most of his time with? What happened? Do you know anything about that guy? Is it like...
well, they explained it in the movie.
Oh, I barely understood it.
So he didn't really like.
I know he left to like abandon them. Like, did someone go kill all the X-Men? Like, did some regular fucking jabronis just wander up to the X-Men?
It's probably the Friends of Humanity. But so more or less, what I got from the movie was when he joined the X-Men. Like, you know, it's probably the same way we've seen Wolverine joining the X-Men in these movies, right? Like. He doesn't really want to be a part of it, or he acts like he doesn't want to be a part of it, and eventually he just becomes a part of it. And this version of Wolverine was the same, except he did want to be a part of it, but he didn't want them to know he wanted to be a part of it. And so one night he just went out, and he came back, and he found them all dead. We don't know exactly who killed the X-Men. Obviously, it has to be some powerful organization or some powerful group of mutants, maybe the Brotherhood of Mutants or the Friends of Humanity or whatever it was. He made it sound like it was humans, though. And so then he lost his mind, and he went and started murdering people. Not only the people who did it, but just anybody. Like, anybody.
Why do you, like, kill any superhero on Earth, or every superhero on Earth, or something like that?
Well, not even... Well, that's Old Man Logan, yeah. So, that's the Old Man Logan story, which is not this version of Wolverine, because we see the Old Man Logan version of Wolverine while Deadpool is going through trying to find Wolverine variants, which was really cool and very meta and very 1980s, 1990s comic book covery kind of stuff.
That X on it with him on the cross was fucking crazy. What was that about?
Yeah, that's a real storyline in Marvel Comics. All the versions we see. So the only complaint I have about any of those versions is the John Byrne Wolverine, where he's in the brown and yellow suit, brown and orange suit, and he, his claws, and you see the reflection of Hulk in his claws. My only complaint is he didn't have the mask on, but like that's like one of the most popular or famous Wolverine covers of all time. It's actually in a Hulk comic book, if I'm not mistaken, where you see Wolverine with his claws out, and in his claws is the reflection of Hulk. So
Wolverine versus the Hulk, man. It's the two most badass motherfuckers in the Marvel.
Yeah, it's one of the more famed fights in the history of Marvel, because there have been many adaptations of it as well in like cartoons and stuff. But one of the like standout moments from that fight, which hopefully one day we could see in live action, is that while they're fighting, the Hulk rips Wolverine in half, and he throws his body halves to opposite ends of like a mountain range or something, and Wolverine has to claw himself back to his legs to regenerate.
Nice. He doesn't just grow a new pair of legs?
No. I mean, maybe he would. His healing factor is very different than Deadpool's. Like Wolverine's healing factor is he has damaged cells, and healthy cells then regenerate those cells. And in every movie, it's like, even in some comics, it's very inconsistent. Like, it takes him a while to heal, but like in a lot of movies, it's very instantaneous.
Like in this movie, they fucking just stab the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Whereas Deadpool's healing factor is his cells get damaged and more dying cells replace them. Like, because he has cancer, his cells are constantly dying and being replaced with dying cells. So like without a healing factor, he would just die. Whereas Wolverine, without a healing factor, it would take him a long time to die. Yeah. Like, he would just be like a normal person. So, yeah. But yeah, all the Wolverine variants were very, very cool and interesting. They had a comic accurate Short King Wolverine, which is another very meta joke, because Hugh Jackman is quite tall. He's like 6 foot something. And when he was cast as Wolverine back in 2000, you had all the nerds. I'm actually Wolverine's very short, like and Hugh Jackman is way too tall to be Wolverine. No, he's 5'3", canonically.
He's 5'3"?
Canonically, but he's always drawn a little taller.
Okay.
Probably like 5'6" he's actually, but Hugh Jackman is far too tall, and so he should not be Wolverine. He's an awful pick for Wolverine, because Wolverine is very short, and it's gonna ruin his entire character if Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine. And so yeah, seeing a 5'3" Wolverine, you're like, wow, that would be utterly fucking ridiculous for them to actually have a Wolverine of that height. Also, Hugh Jackman's been playing the character for 20 years. Plus, and so I think they made a pretty good choice. So yeah, it is funny though. Like, nerds lose their minds about everything, so it's not surprising at all that they were mad about that choice back in the early 2000s. And not only that, Hugh Jackman showed up as I believe this is a true story, if I'm not mistaken. He showed up to a Comic-Con dressed as Wolverine, and people kept saying he was too tall. I'm like, bro, cosplayers, it doesn't matter, but whatever.
People are the worst. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. The fight scenes, all were pretty cool, to be honest. The one in the Honda Odyssey, holy, with the seatbelts and shit, bro, that shit had me laughing. Okay, that was hilarious. And not to mention, we didn't mention this, but it's important. Johnny Storm being skinned alive.
Man, dude.
And
What fucking Deadpool said, and the fucking that attached with the I cannot fucking believe they had Chris Evans say that on tape because it's so weird.
yeah, the
hearing you
post
say it
credit
'cause-
scene. The post credit scene
Yeah,
is
because
literally just the dirtiest shit you've ever heard Chris Evans say
heard it say in your entire life, like with the
in his
Brooklyn accent.
fucking in his Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, dude, it is so fucking funny because he's Captain America. So you're sitting here watching him say that, and you're just like, dude, it's like a mind warp. It's like mind warping, right?
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it was really funny, and you know that was intentional.
And Wolverine or Deadpool just keeps like looking at the camera in the corner. It's like, huh, tell me more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is, I don't know, he just embodies that character so well, and like for everything from like the delivery of the lines to his movements as the character, I think just it works so well, so well. And it'd be hard to find someone else who could do that. And the honest reality is that I don't know if we'll ever get another Deadpool movie. Because Ryan Reynolds has discussed also how time consuming it is, and his wife and his children wouldn't appreciate him doing more of them because, you know.
Do you think we'll get a show?
I think we'll see him in cameos, more or less, the right cameos. But like one of the things is
there was a Stan Lee cameo. That's right. I forgot about that too, dude. Holy shit! It was on the There was on the bus when he was going through. There was a Stan Lee cameo on the side. It was still in an advertisement. Dude, oh, it was so fucking. This movie was so fucking good. So you remember at the end scene where they're finding out. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So there's this end scene where all these Deadpools show up. The Deadpool Corps shows up, and it's like Lady Pool and all the other Deadpools and shit.
Yeah, and Baby Pool was played by his baby, and Kid Pool was played by his daughter.
Oh wow, she said some dirty stuff.
Well, they had to replace the Kid Pool actor because of puberty or whatever. Like they had a Kid Pool actor, and like by the time they started filming, like his voice had changed or something. So he got his daughter to do it.
She's the worst of the bunch. What's his buddy's name again? Ryan or something like that?
Oh, Peter.
Peter, yo, is that Peter? Peter?
It's fucking Peter.
Yeah. And all the Deadpool, like the fucking Deadpool from like with the saber and like the fucking the revolver pistol, the cavalry pistol and shit like that. Oh, dude, that was so cool.
Yeah, lots of cool different. Bro, I'm glad nothing happened to Dogpool, to be honest. Like it was getting a little.
I was expecting them to kill that dog, and I was like, dude, I do not want to fucking see that right now. Like that's the last thing I want to fucking see right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. What other questions do you have? You said you wanted to bombard me with questions.
Who's that Wolverine leaning on the side of those little 80s and shit? Because that was a reference from a comic book, right?
Yeah.
This is referencing comic book covers, right? That's like the most famous comic book covers.
Yeah, that was, I believe. I don't know off the top of my head, but I believe that's like the time where, like, shortly after Weapon X, where he's still kind of feral, but like not fully feral. Like that's why he's like so aggressive. But I could be mistaken. It could be an alternate world. I don't think it's an alternate world thing, but I also appreciate in this movie that like not only were they kind of making fun of Marvel for like, you know, not being so great in this current period in time, but also like kind of like, bro, like while being a multiverse story, saying we don't need more of these multiverse stories.
Yeah.
Like they're like it just gets absurd, you know, at a certain point. And like you could write your way out of any situation just because of time travel and whatever multiple universes, right? And I think that's kind of the sentiment Marvel fans have had for the past couple of years too, is like it's just dumb. There's too many universes, and like you know, you can just undo anything because you have another universe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Man, when they had the first fight, there was the Fox Century logo in the background. Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Because Fox got pruned.
Yeah, that made me so happy.
Yeah. I do wonder if people who haven't seen Loki maybe were confused by the Void.
Mm.
Um, I don't think they should have been, but
Well,
I,
they just said it's where the TVA sends people they don't like,
well, not that they don't like, but like that they don't have any
or
use
like
for.
the,
But
yeah,
the only confusing thing is too, as people who have seen Loki, we know that like they kind of stopped pruning timelines.
yeah,
Um, and like you got the World Tree now with Loki kind of like stabilizing all these timelines.
yeah.
Um, the anchor being thing, okay, sure they explain that, but
I think
does it
that's a
really
that.
make
I think that
sense?
joke is very meta. Personally, like I think that's something very meta about like
Yeah, like
story.
that. The death of Wolverine in like essentially Hugh Jackman not playing Wolverine anymore killed Fox.
Yes,
Yeah.
and like Wesley Snipes and stuff like that not playing Blade anymore kind of killed Blade in its own way, and a lot of a lot of the things probably killed Blade, but you know what I mean, though, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just
Blade
like
was Columbia Pictures, I think.
oh okay. Well, either way though, like there's just a lot of
I don't
meta
remember.
jokes about like what characters and franchises like what happens to the characters, the legacy of those characters and everything like that. Like getting their chance to go out cool and shit like that. Like, and having their like modern fight scene and all that shit. Like characters that are left behind and stuff. That's just very, very meta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, essentially, like that is just like a send off for those characters, right? Like, it's not.
Yeah, yeah,
To me, it's not even like somebody asked me, "Oh, do you think it was like a love letter to Fox?" And I'm like, I don't think it's a love letter to Fox. It's just like it's redeeming the characters that Fox let down in a lot of ways.
yeah,
Um, because like I mean, Channing Tatum never even got to be Gambit because of how poorly I think things were run at Fox.
yeah,
And Elektra, she was cool in Daredevil, but her movie didn't do well at all.
yeah.
Um, and
Was
Wesley
it good? Did you
Snipes,
watch it?
the original Elektra movie,
Yeah.
no, it's like one of the few I never watched because I watched Daredevil like in theaters when I was a kid, and I loved Daredevil, and I
Yeah.
liked Elektra. But then when the
Yeah.
Elektra movie came out, like my dad didn't really care about it. Like my dad was, he's a big Daredevil fan. I remember when I was a kid, growing up, he had his friend. All his comic books were left here in California. We were living in a different state at the time, and
Yeah.
he had his friend who had his comic books send him a box of comic books. And I remember in that box is just like old Daredevil comic books. So I
Mm.
know my dad was a big fan of Daredevil. But we never saw Elektra, and I don't know if there was a reason for it or like, he just knew it would be bad or something. But when it came out, my sister watched it and she said it was bad. So, yeah, I didn't actually watch it because I just didn't have that much interest in it at the time, and maybe one day I will watch it, see if it's as bad as people. Have you ever watched it?
No.
But you've watched Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
A long time ago.
Oh, you haven't seen it in a long time.
Long.
People also say it's
Yeah.
that movie's bad. I thought Ben Affleck as Daredevil. I
Yeah.
thought he looked good in the suit. I thought
Yeah. You've brought this up. I remember you brought this up before though. That you enjoy. That you really like. That enjoyed that movie.
Michael
Your.
Clark Duncan's Kingpin is very good.
Yep.
Um, I thought Jennifer Garner was a good Elektra as well. Colin Farrell as Bullseye, weird look, but he was fine too. I thought it was really funny, like the way he was killing people.
Unfortunately, though, another Daredevil came out. Man, dude,
Yeah, it's kind of unmatched to be honest.
man, like I just don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that's the funny thing too is like I mean I think they do make a joke about it, like how many Punishers there have been, because like when Wesley Snipes has the big bazooka thing and he's shooting it and they're like, oh, this was Punishers, and Deadpool says, which one? There have been like 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then he says,
There's only gonna be one. There's
he
only
says-
gonna be one blade.
there's only one blade. Ever only gonna be one blade.
And he looks
which
at
is
the,
which is
Deadpool looks at
again
the camera.
a big like fuck you to Disney because they're
Yeah.
fucking up Blade already. Like, I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
I'm saying like they're making Blade bad. It's just like it's in production hell. Nobody knows what the fuck is happening with Blade. It's had like 13 different directors, 47 different. It's the Flash all over again with that production. So, yeah.
Mm.
so much of this movie is just so great. I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where so I saw it opening night on the Thursday night when you were supposed to go, but you couldn't make it. So, yeah,
Yep.
and then I went the next night with my wife, so I saw it twice in 2 days, and like even then, like she kind of wants to see it again too. And now that I'm not working weekends anymore, maybe we'll go sometime this weekend or next weekend or something. But yeah, I mean it's gonna break a billion if it hasn't already. Last I checked was like 3 days ago. It was like 800 million. So I'm sure it already broke a billion.
It's been 2 weeks. I went and saw it. It was still sold out. I was like just
Yeah.
barely in the neck break. Like I was just before the neck break where I get to lean back comfortably. Other than that, I had to be in the neck break seats where the angle of the camera's off and nobody wants to sit. Like it's so funny because I was looking through all the sold out ones and like no one was buying the front seats. They'd rather go at a different time. I
Yeah.
didn't see it, but it was a fantastic movie. I'm just really glad I saw it. Obviously, I'm gonna go see it again. Still looking around for jobs or something like that. I may just say fucking go work at Amazon for like a few months just to bust my ass, like and make some money and shit like that, and then go see if I can find like a more stable job, and go back to school and shit.
Yeah. As of 8 hours ago, it passed 900 million.
It's
So
getting there. It'll be there. Let's see. Let me check. Okay, so here, let me check right now. Let me go to Cinemark. Let me pull up my app. This is my local theater in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. It's a little town called Tracy, California. It's most famous as a shipping hub.
bro, why don't you just go to the AMC?
Because I like going to this Tracy. It's nostalgic for me going to that. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go see Borderlands 3. It's probably gonna make me really fucking mad.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
bro, I saw some shit today. It said Borderlands reviews are coming in and they are really really bad.
Yeah, like it's like zeros across the board, and I'm gonna go see it because I'll be honest. One of the first video games where I really started to become like I was always a dumb little young gamer, but eventually I didn't. My parents were really controlling of like my gaming, right? But eventually, as I got older, I started driving myself to school. I got a job. They let me like stay up late and play games. One of the first things I ever got was a really shitty Xbox 360, and then I got the first Borderlands game, and I played the shit out of that game. That was the first game I played multiplayer live chat with anybody ever. The first time I'd ever done that. So that it just the Borderlands franchise means a lot to me. Like KG Elephants, like Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is a song I listen to when I'm feeling really down. Been listening to it a lot lately. So I just it's all the intros. Borderlands 2 was a fantastic game. It was just did what Borderlands 1, but times 10. Borderlands 3 was a little bit different, but I enjoyed like the graphical update. There was Borderlands 2.5 or whatever it's called, the Moon one. It was really intense. It was almost like a bonus game for Borderlands 2, right? It was almost like a hard mode of Borderlands 2. It was but it was like that. Obviously I know all these games. I love them. I'm not like a speedrunner or anything like that. I have my one friend Rio, who's Cheech, who's talked in this chat before about Lord of the Rings mainly. She has like over 1,000 hours on Borderlands 2, so she knows that game a lot better than you. But it's gonna piss me off, and I need something more positive in my life right now. So I don't know why I'm gonna go see it, but
Maybe
I'm
do
gonna
a
see
double feature. Go see it and then see Deadpool and Wolverine right after to wash the
it.
taste
Yeah.
from your mouth.
So let's see. 6:15 is the next showing. This one's basically sold out. Let's see. 7 p.m. Much bigger theater, sold out.
Yeah, but that's today.
7:30 sold out. 7:45. Not that sold out. 7:55 a little sold out. Best seats are all sold out. Okay, 9:20 is when it starts falling off. I went and saw mine at 9:40, and that shit was sold out. No joke. It was terrible. But it is today, and you're all right. But those are tickets, like it's best to check your local theater, right? Like fucking, and you live near the state capital of California, right? That's like, this is where this is where the money is made. In towns that nobody knows, or there's just a bunch of people working their job. It's like and they go into the movie theater and they see a movie, right? This is the bread and butter of like movie theaters across the country. So you check your local theater, and if there's shit still sold out for today, and maybe for the next, check it again tomorrow. I think it's chugging along. Tomorrow's like Friday, right?
Something I've never done, and I don't know if it's just because I don't know if they're shit or not. Have you ever done the D-box seats?
No, I haven't. I see them all the time they have them at the Tracy one now.
Yeah, so I was looking at Deadpool and Wolverine for this Sunday at a Cinemark, and all the D-box seats are available, but like all the seats around them are taken. And makes me wonder if people like don't buy them because they're like too expensive, or if people don't buy them because they're shit.
Yeah.
So like, if anybody doesn't know, D-box seats are like your chair like moves and vibrates like synchronized with the movie. And I don't know if that'll give people like motion sickness or like it like is distracting or takes you out of the movie or something. I don't know, but I was kind of curious about it, so I was maybe gonna do one of those things, but
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out one of these days.
So, yeah. But yeah, what other questions do you have? We have a
I
list.
don't know. We talked past questions a while ago. Let's see. I don't know. What else? God, there's so much good in this movie. It's almost hard to tell. I feel like we'll need to do a deeper dive on this movie when it comes to streaming, and I'll be able to watch it a few times, like and like
Yeah.
take notes or something. Like 'cause it was so good, but also it's very fast paced.
Other big
But
cameo, Jon Favreau, Happy Hogan.
yeah, that was pretty funny. That was really good little bit of comedic dialogue.
Yeah, like listen, I agree with people who say like the story isn't or like the plot isn't great, like because there doesn't need to be a plot really. Like essentially the plot is
exactly. It's a fake plot. Like that's
Yeah.
why like Paradox's base is like set on this dumb little happy street that the fucking Deadpool lives on. Like it's like a happy little roadway where like nothing happens and there's just random people. Like and all the stores have random sex names. I was noticing that in the background. Like
well, also one of them was called Liefeld's Only Feet because Rob Liefeld created Deadpool and he's well known for drawing no like feet really badly.
Okay, but anyway, so like they're like he's down on his luck. His girlfriend dumped him. Like he put up being a superhero and stuff like that. Like it's like a fake.
He lives with his
like
blind roommate.
Yeah, who loves cocaine, but they can't talk about it.
Yeah,
that's the one thing they said we can't do.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude.
But yeah, like listen, the plot is essentially Ryan Reynolds after he does the thing with with Cable's time device, he it's talking with Vanessa and she's like, bro, like what are you doing with your life? And so he decides to try to be an Avenger, and so he meets up with Happy Hogan, and it's just like it's pretty funny, like a conversation that they have, and Happy's like, you're not ready yet, like kind of whatever, and then Vanessa dumps him because hey, he apparently isn't doing much with his life.
Yeah.
And then she starts like dating some rando guy she works with. And Ryan Reynolds gives up being Deadpool. Well, not Ryan Reynolds, but he gives up being Deadpool and he starts becoming a car salesman. And so you see him like, in this family with like children and stuff. And he's just like talking shit about the Honda Odyssey. And then he gets brought in by the TVA. They're like, bro, your world is dying because Logan's gone. Well, they don't tell him that. Like, essentially, they pull him in and he thinks, oh, cool, I get to save the Marvel Universe, Very meta. And then he goes and gets tailored, and yeah, you just see the tailor slapping his ass a lot. And then he's
groping
like,
groping his like crotch and stuff. Too.
Yeah,
There's a couple times when he does that.
Yeah, he says, by the way, your tailor's a predator.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys' tailor. Okay, your tailor is a predator. Like he says it like that too. It's just, the guy was staring at him. What's the matter, buddy? You like it? Yeah, you like it from down there? Huh? I was like, I need to make a call. I was like, oh yeah, you calling your wife? It's like, no, I'm calling HR. I was like, oh yeah, she's my work at HR. Shit was so fucking funny, dude. Holy shit! I don't know why. Like the delivery on that was just so fucking funny. Like the timing.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And then he finds out his world is dying. It's gonna take like 1,000 years, but the TVA, it's not fast enough for them. Well, it's not fast enough. Paradox, who's kind of operating a separate cell from the main TVA, and he has this device to accelerate the collapse of of Wade's timeline. And he's like, we're saving you because we think you have value, and we can bring you into the sacred timeline. And then Wade is like, well, fuck that. I'm gonna go find a Wolverine to undo the Anchor event, which is stupid. Like everyone knows like that wouldn't actually work. And really all universes are slowly dying kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much the plot of the movie. Well, first of all, he tries to go dig up Wolverine, and he's like, oh, you guys all thought Logan was dead, but that's not how regenerative healing factors work. And then he takes him up. He's like, ah, shit, he is dead. And then yes, very meta. He starts murdering people, and yeah, like some of the things that get through, obviously, like surprising things for Disney movies is like when he like hits the guy in the crotch with the femur and it's like starts stroking it. Like the whole bye 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 dance sequence was phenomenal as well.
Big Backstreet Boys reference.
That's an NSYNC reference, but
NSYNC, NSYNC, yeah.
Same
but different.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole it's just so enjoyable, and I mean, I don't want to say that people who didn't like it hate fun, but you know, it's to me, it's not something where you have to be in the right mood to watch it. Like you just have to.
You know, this movie put me in a good mood.
Yeah, like it's just something that you're just like like you're gonna laugh. There's some touching moments, nothing like overly like emotional, but like really Wolverine is the heart of the movie. And yeah, when he's like kind of talking about like the mistakes he made and like how he let his world down and he let the people who needed him most down and stuff, and you're like, and then he's talking about Charles Xavier's legacy and how he he's not going to let Cassandra die because of Charles, essentially, like, and Charles wouldn't have let her die and whatever. And so but yeah, little plot wise, okay, yeah, they have to get Juggernaut's helmet to put on her to stop her from infiltrating their minds or whatever, to take away her powers, and then they just take it off right away anyway. And the whole Pyro thing, like Pyro being in league with the TVA, like these are things that maybe don't make a lot of sense to some people, but like you don't need to question them because it's like the plot doesn't matter. Yeah. Like it just doesn't matter.
It's a fake plot. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, he's down on his luck. He's working some stupid job at a car salesman with a fake toupee. His girlfriend dumped him. Like,
a fake toupee stapled to his head.
It's a fake plot. It's just a fake plot. Like, you need to throw that out. Like, the real plot is about, like, the fate of franchises and stuff like that, and like, how everyone always wants to, how they want their franchise to go, kind of, like they want how they want and stuff like that and shit.
Yeah.
At least to me, I don't know.
No, and I think those are important perspectives to have. Like, and of course, like people who didn't like the movie, sure, your complaints are valid, but I don't have time or energy for that because I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Shit. Huh?
Yep.
I hit something with my foot and now my computer is going all wonky. So, but
Row.
No, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
I think.
Boy,
I mean, we look good.
It evened out.
Yeah.
You look good. I don't have my camera on, so.
Well, I mean, I just got back from the gym, so I'm sorry. I didn't have time to shower though, so here I am. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to think about what else in this movie. I think we just definitely need to do a deep dive on it. Whenever there's like a lull in the news cycle, maybe we'll have like a special episode dedicated to it when it finally comes to streaming, and I can watch it a couple times. I don't really have a lot of money to go out and like watch movies and stuff all the time like I used to. So
yeah. Well, there's definitely a lull. D23 is this weekend, which is Disney's big event. So they'll have announcements probably about X-Men 97 season 2 and different things. There'll probably be other Star Wars announcements. I mean, there's set photos from Skeleton Crew. Who knows if there will be more about that. There will be Q&As with people who worked on the Acolyte and stuff like that. So there will be a bunch of news. Batman Caped Crusader, the animated series, is out. It's on Amazon Prime for some reason instead of HBO Max where all the DC stuff is. But it's on Amazon Prime, so at some point I'll watch that because I like Batman. House of the Dragon just wrapped up season 2, so I'll probably watch that and talk about it at some point as well. I don't think you're going to watch it because you are not interested.
I'll watch specific scenes. I heard there was like funny shit. Like, did you tell them, like, I heard there's like funny lines and stuff like that, and I just...
Is there? In House of the Dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it or watched any of it. Between the first and second seasons, I did read the book, so that might be a point of disappointment when they deviate strongly from most of it. But yeah, I don't know. I'll check that out. And then Rings of Power season 2 kicks off August 29th. So I mean, we'll be talking about that when it comes out. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I don't know. What else?
What else is there to talk about in this movie? When they ripped his shirt off, that was really funny. A bunch of jokes about how ripped Hugh Jackman is, and they glistened him up and everything. They glistened him up and everything like that. Yeah, steroids probably, or maybe just fucking Hollywood body regimen that they have you on getting up at 4 a.m. and shit, and like.
Yeah, I guess the one thing we didn't talk about was Emma Corrin's Cassandra Nova, who I thought she did a very good job. She had a lot of charisma about her. And I thought it was a very good performance for a villain.
Yep. Fantastic.
Yeah. So, your fingers are in me and not in the good way.
I think it's funny how they kept doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, is there anything we're missing? I mean, all the people in his apartment, I mean, they're there. The biker guy. He's like he's like, no, you don't get any lines. He's like, are you ad-libbing? So yeah, Blind Owl's good. She's funny as always. Vanessa is kind of whatever in this movie. Dopinder doesn't really do much. Yukio and Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus are all kind of just background characters. So yeah, nothing really else. Just if you want to enjoy your have a nice time, disconnect from all the bullshit, all your whatever's going on at work, the division in the country, whatever it is, just go watch this movie and, disconnect for a couple hours. So, yeah. Anyway, what else? Nothing?
Fantastic movie. I have to think about my top 5. I haven't been top 5 of all time, but it's definitely up there now. Just because of like how, I don't know, I just thought it told a really beautiful story about the fate of characters and franchises and everything like that. And I don't think I put that forward very well today, but I have to watch it a couple times to really put write some notes down and really formulate what I mean with that idea, about how characters, the transitions characters go through and everything like that, and how they struggle to have they have an identity crisis. Like Deadpool was having an identity crisis, right? Even though he was caught between Fox and Disney and all that shit. So yeah, and it's just
But why was Thor crying?
Why was Thor crying? That's something we'll never know.
Thor was crying. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, click the buttons, Twitch, YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Do all those things, please, and thank you. And we will be the papas of Dogpool in the future.
Yep.
Bye.